What's going on, guys? Aces High. Sorry I've been MIA for a little bit. Things got busy around the holidays and you know how it goes. But I figured right now would be a good time to show you my airsoft collection as of right now. Starting with the guns in the order that I acquired them somewhat, I believe. I'm going to try to get it right. There's a few gray areas where I'm not sure which guns I got first, but pretty sure I got the timeline down right. Haven't been able to get some good airsoft footage lately, but I'm planning to get back into it starting the new year, so hopefully this weekend. But yeah, I'm going to start with this gun that I got when I went to visit my family in Texas. 4 years ago, me and my nephew were browsing airsoft guns at the local sports store, kind of like the Big Five. It's called something else in Texas, but I found this HK USP. This is non-blowback CO2 powered airsoft gun or airsoft pistol. Holds 16 rounds, nice heavy mags, very gas efficient because it is non-blowback. It's super gas efficient. You can run about 4 to 5 mags through this before you have to replace it, before it starts being inaccurate. But yeah, I mean, if you let it cool down, you might even be able to get more than that. Good feel. Long trigger pull on this because it's non-blowback. You can't pre-cock the hammer on that, so that's the reason for the long trigger pull on this one. Yeah, moving on. I got this HK USP when me and my nephew were just doing backyard battles when I go to visit my family. Then a couple of years ago, I went to Big Five and I bought this. I probably paid way too much for this, honestly. It's a Mossberg M590 magazine fed little Springer shotgun, and it's pretty cheap. I believe I showed this in my shotgun Springer video, but it shoots accurately. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, this gun shoots at around 340 feet per second on a new CO2. This one shoots at about, I think we're doing 210, 220 FPS. It's got a high cap mag, fill it with BBs, pull the spring back and then load the BBs into the spring well. It can hold like 12, I think, or like 14, but by the time it gets to a certain point, it doesn't push them far enough up into the hop-up chamber to load them, so you actually have to turn the gun upside down if you want to get the last of the BBs there. But it's a fun little blinker, good for the backyard, very easy to cock. Just did that thing where it shoots by itself again. And actually has a rail on it. You probably could put a sight on this because it only shoots one BB at a time. It does have hop-up, so it could be pretty accurate, I think. If you put heavy B, I run it on 0.2s when I pink with it, and it's pretty accurate. So anything heavier than that, you won't be able to effectively hop it up. So I have the hop-up tuned up all the way, and it barely gets them straight. But yeah, that's that one. Next up is my CAA M4. This is the first airsoft gun that I bought when I officially got into the hobby, and by officially I mean playing at airsoft fields and taking it a little bit more seriously. It was a good gun for the price, I guess. It was 120 bucks or something like that. It was a good entry-level gun, but the trigger contacts on the inside burned out pretty quick, so I ordered a gate aster for it, and that's when I learned how to do some teching because I had to take the whole thing apart, take the gearbox apart, install the MOSFET, and do all kinds of stuff to it. So it just needs shimming right now, and it'll be in working condition, but I haven't had time to bust it back open. It's a pain in the ass to work in because it doesn't have a quick change spring, so getting the gearbox open without losing everything to the spring is kind of a challenge. But yeah, good form factor. You put the battery up here. It shoots at about 395 feet per second, so it shoots pretty hot. When I first got it, I had to break it in. It was shooting like 410, 415. It finally settled down to about 390, 395, and it's got a collapsible stock, and it's got a place for snacks. Open this. Yeah, it's got a place for snacks or batteries, whatever you want to put in there. And yeah, good gun. Not the quickest gun, not the best gun, but it was a decent starter gun. In hindsight, I would have not purchased this. I would have spent a little bit more money and purchased something better, but live and learn. So next up is my favorite gun. This is the gun that I bought after my incident with my CAA M4 when it started giving out. I noticed how fast people were shooting. Then I kind of researched and I learned what MOSFETs were. So my other gun was still working, but I was like, well, I want a gun that shoots better, faster. I did some research. That's when I learned a lot about the electronic firing control system that this has put into it. It's got a very small trigger pull. You see here, it's like a mouse click. You can get off rounds almost as fast as you can pull that. So it's really nice for semi-auto only fields. The only downside on this is the battery compartment. This is what you have to work with here. Unless you buy the battery extension unit, it has a very small battery compartment. These are the batteries that I'm running in it. They're EcoPower 7.4 volt, 1300 milliamp, 2-cell LiPos, 20C discharge rating, and these will barely fit in there. I got some stuff on the way for this, including the battery extension unit, so I plan on doing some upgrades with this. I'll make a video about that when I get that in. But yeah, this gun, it's the most solid performing gun that I have. Shoots accurate. Recently experimented with heavier BBs, so I think I'm going to run with .28s on this now. We got a Feyachi VS29 with a Monstrum 1-inch riser, and then of course your sight protector here to keep your sight from getting shot out. I also attached this shorty type BB grenade shell launcher at the bottom. It's been a lot of fun. This thing's kind of janky. When it works, it's fun, but when it doesn't work, it's kind of frustrating. I need to buy more, I guess, or figure out how to make that one work. But yeah, it comes with these nice hand stops here. They come on the front of the gun for people who hold their gun like a monkey. I don't like doing that. I hold my gun right here, especially now that I have this. This is where I like to hold the rifle. It just makes more sense to me. It requires less movement to track where you're shooting, as opposed to having it up here. I don't know. That's just the way I prefer it. So that's where I keep mine. This thing shoots at a solid 395 feet per second on .20s. So as far as the FPS goes, it's right below our 400 FPS field limit, which is perfect. You want to get as much speed as you can out of your BBs, if possible. I just have a little Amazon 2-point sling on here, and I have the programming box on the way. I'll make a video for that once we get it. But yeah, best gun so far. Next up is my Umarex MP5, HK MP5. I've always liked MP5s. As a kid, I had an AEG MP5. It was a pretty cheapy one, but it lasted me a while. I remember playing Airsoft games with it back in high school, and I've just always loved MP5s. So I got this one here, and it shoots at about 330 feet per second, which is cool. Nice and compact. It's good for close quarter combat. That's what I really like it for. It's really easy to peek corners and stuff with it. The only downside on this, I would say, is the battery compartment. It might just be the batteries that I have, but it's very hard to fit batteries in there, especially if you're using like the nunchuck style nickel metal batteries. They're hard to fit in there, so I'm going to try to run this on a 2-cell LiPo stick battery. Might have a little bit more luck getting it in there, but yeah, that's the only drawback on this. Here's the... Oops, I just dropped something. What was that? Well, this broke off of something. I'm not sure where that came from. I'll find out later. I don't think it's significant, but yeah, this is the hop-up lever, so the hop-up's really easy to access. The only problem is if you have it zeroed in, if you're putting this back on, you're always going to bump that lever. So once you have your battery in there, you just have to re-zero it in with your red dot sight. I have I'm not sure who makes this red dot sight. I had a VS29 here that I was having issues mounting, so I put this one on here. I purchased this rail adapter off Amazon to be able to mount a sight on here, and I don't know what's up with this riser or whatever. It's just a smaller size on the rail, so I had to put some aluminum foil there to make up for the space and just clean it up a little bit, but whatever, it works. Had to meatball rig it, but that's okay. That's what we do in Airsoft, right? Something's not working, man, just put a Scooby-Doo band-aid on it and call it a day. But yeah, good little gun. Next up is my FN Herstal P90. This is made by Cybergun, and it's a cool It's a cool P90. The only drawback on it are the magazines. It comes with a 60 round mid cap or 65 round mid cap, which is like, what the hell, dude? You got this gigantic ass mag and you can only fit 65 BBs in there? I don't believe that, you know what I mean? They do sell 100 round mid caps that are out. I do have a few of the 300 round high caps, but they're garbage. They don't feed worth a damn. I've tried everything. I've tried filling them halfway. I wind this up all the way. Sometimes when I bang on it, it starts working a little bit better. Tried oiling it up, taking it apart. I can't get these to work reliably, and I have 2 of them, and I have the mid cap. So for now, this is kind of just sitting on the sidelines until I can secure some mid caps for it to use it more effectively. Another drawback on this P90 is the trigger. It's got a long trigger pull. So here's the semi-auto trigger pull. It's just a heavy trigger pull. When you're used to like something like my Ares or the Chris Vector, this gets very tiring very easily. So lots of times I'll switch to my middle finger and use my middle finger to fire, and then I'll switch back. It's just a really heavy trigger. But for CQB, taking corners, peeking, this gun is excellent. Like it cannot be matched for that. I have a VS29 on this as well from Feyachi, and I don't have a riser on that because it already has a riser. Just the way that it's designed, I don't need to put a riser on this. And of course we got the protector. I think this shoots at about 340 feet per second, even though it's advertised at 380 to 400. It's only shooting 340 for some reason. I don't think there's anything wrong with the gun. I have checked the seal. Gearbox is easy to get to. Battery compartment goes back here. It's really spacious. This whole top part right here is where the battery goes. I could fit regular nunchuck batteries in there, no problem at all. That's a good part about this gun. Yeah, what else? That's it on this one. Very ergonomic. P90s are awesome. I love it. I love P90s. Can't wait to get some mid caps for it and start using this again. Up next, we have the Tactical Force CQB CO2 powered gun. I made a video on this. This was one of my first YouTube videos that I made because there was no videos on this gun. Nobody has them, and that video has close to, I know it has over 1,200, about 1,200 views, maybe more, maybe less. But it was a very popular video because anytime anybody would search for this, my video would come up. There's no information out there on this besides what I put in my video. I haven't checked in a while. Maybe somebody else has made a review. Not too sure. But yeah, this one, put 2 CO2s in here. You know, go watch the review if you want to see more information on this. But here's the mag. Holds about 250 rounds or so. You have to load in 20 rounds at a time. 21-ish, I believe it was. I don't remember. Go watch the video. The cool thing about this is that it comes with all kinds of rails. The bad thing about it is if you try to put a rail on, sight on the rail, you're not going to get it sighted in. Not with .20s anyways. This thing's very inaccurate. It shoots all over the place. This I've come to determine it is a backyard plinking gun. It is not one that you can use effectively in matches. I mean, you can, but you're just holding yourself back with it because you need to make every shot count. And I've used it effectively. I've gotten some good matches with it. Not on camera yet, so I want to get some games with this on camera to show kind of my experience, whether it goes well or it doesn't go well. And I'll let you be the judge. But yeah, it's a fun gun to shoot. It's got the 6-round burst. It just sprays like a mother. Single shot semi-auto is pretty good. Trigger's cool. Once you got it loaded up, you actually have to rack it. And I don't know, it just feels good. It's cool. Probably wouldn't buy it again, but I'm glad I have one because it's pretty fun to shoot targets with in the backyard. Oh, I forgot to mention, on a fresh set of CO2, it clocks in at about 320 feet per second. So that's what you can expect from that. That dips down pretty quickly. I'd say after about 30 to 40 shots, you're shooting sub 300, and then it just goes down from there. And once you're about 30% left on the tanks, it starts overhopping the BBs because they're not traveling fast enough for the hop up to work the way you had it set when it was full on CO2. So yeah, a lot of drawbacks on this, but you be the judge. If you think it's worth picking up, pick it up. If not, don't. Next up, we got my baby here. I love this gun. Crytek Crisp Vector. I won this in a box of awesomeness. It's got the collapsible stock on there. I was running a drum mag at first, but I had issues with it, so I resorted to just using mid caps. So I have about 6 of these. One of them's having issues, but Evike took care of me on that, so we're good. But yeah, I've had nothing but good experiences with this gun. The 2-round burst is awesome, single fire is awesome, full auto is awesome. I put this foregrip on here. That's really neat. I love the way that feels with the foregrip. I made a video on this gun too, so if you guys want to see that, look at my past videos. I have a Faiachi V30 on this. Red dot sight is sighted in perfectly. This is a perfect sight for this gun. I had it on my Ares Amoeba, but then I decided I was going to put it on this gun, and I don't regret that. My buddy has one too, so just to differentiate them, I just put this little fake, I don't know what the hell you want to call it, mock suppressor or whatever, just a little chicken shit electrical tape with wrapped over some PVC pipe, but I don't know, I think it looks alright. And yeah, this thing is clocked in at about 335 feet per second average. So I got the sub 350 one from the box of awesomeness. There's one that's a higher power version that you can buy, but these guns aren't cheap. This is a $450, $500 airsoft gun. Is it worth that much? In my opinion, no, it is not. I would never buy this at a full price, but because I got it for essentially, well, if the box of awesomeness, if you split the cost between the guns that I got in that, I technically got this for about $100, right? So I'm happy with that. I'm definitely not a gun I plan on getting rid of. I use it every time I play airsoft. It's great for CQB. It's pretty accurate. It's a lot of fun to use. The battery compartment's a little tight. I believe they sell an extension unit for that, but I am running a Matrix 1100 milliamp hour 15C 11.1 volt 3-cell LiPo battery in there. The way I get this in there is I connect it first, and then I slide the battery in, and then tuck the wires all the way down in on this side, and then you can barely close it. I'm gonna probably invest in the extension unit for that, just to make it a little bit easier, just to try to avoid fraying these wires, because wires are delicate on LiPo batteries, and it would suck to ruin a $30 battery. So, but yeah, I got gameplay on this one too. Check out my recent videos, and you will see Crisp Vector gameplay video. Next up is my Elite Force Hater revolver. I love this pistol. It is awesome. It's just such a great gun. It is, of course, non-blowback because it's a revolver, but the way it works is you have these pucks. You put them in, lock them in place, and then you're ready to go. For being a non-blowback type pistol, it has a very easy trigger pull. You can even pre-cock it, and when you do that, it actually, I believe it shoots a little bit harder because the hammer has a little bit more travel, so you get just a little bit more speed out of the BBs. 10 shots, reloading so easy. Take it out, put in a new one. I ran this with my shotgun before, as you guys probably seen in my other videos. If you stuck around to the end of my gameplay video, there's some bonus content where I ran around with this thing. A lot of fun. It's a good secondary pistol, very efficient on ammo. I'll make a separate review video on this someday, and we'll see how many pucks we can go through on one CO2. Take the CO2 out. It comes with a tool built in so that you can unscrew the pressure screw and then put your CO2 in. I love that they did that. You don't need any additional tools, and then once you're ready to go, pop it in place. You gotta clean it, it's a little dirty from the day I was playing in the mud. But yeah, it's a good pistol. I love it. For the price too, you just can't beat it. If you want a good secondary for cheap, this is what I would recommend. I got it on sale. It was around $65 once they had a Black Friday sale. I had to pick it up. The one I was looking at, it's one that my nephew had the first gen version of when we played it back in Texas a few years back, and I fell in love with it. And once I found out there was a Gen 2 with hop up, this one actually does have hop up. I just had to go for it, man. I couldn't leave it behind. I was like, that's awesome. So yeah, it's a good pistol. Clocks in at about 310, if I'm not mistaken. On a fresh CO2, you're gonna get about 310 feet per second. If I ever make a video on this, I'll double check that, but I'm pretty sure that's what I remember them telling me at the field when I got it chronoed. Last up, my Turn Tactical Innovations Combat Master Green Gas Pistol 2011. This thing is awesome, man. This is my main secondary gun now, especially since I got a nice Kydex holster for it off Amazon. I can't find my holster right now, but just take my word for it that it is a nice holster. It's not a pressure holster. It's actually has a trigger guard lock on it, so you press a button. I can draw it easily. The problem I was having with my previous holster is that this chunky button here would become pressed and my mag would fall out if I started running, but I don't have that problem in my new holster. So keep it locked and loaded, man. And this gun is awesome. It shoots reliably. It's very easy to get into to adjust the hop up. Yeah, this gun is awesome, man. It shoots at about, I'm not too sure on this one what the FPS is on the full thing. I'm gonna say it's sub 350, maybe 345. It's somewhere in that range. I'm gonna say it's around 340, but I could be mistaken on that. I'll probably do a follow-up video on this too, but yeah, I'm gonna pick up another mag. I have 2 mags for it right now. I'm gonna pick up another mag for it because it's such an awesome gun. I love it. It's very accurate. The hop up's easy to access. I was shooting .30s last week with it, and they were going straight and steady. So yeah, you can even run this as a primary. I believe they have adapters and stuff for it, but I'm not into all that speed soft stuff. So good secondary. I got this in a box of awesomeness. If you watched my last one, along with the M4 that I'm not really keeping. So yeah, this is gonna be the last gun for this video. I have a couple. I have that Cyma M4 that I got with my Chris Vector, and then I have the Raystar Matrix M4 that I got with this in the box of awesomeness. I decided not to keep those guns, so they are for sale. So I'm gonna sell those off. If you're interested in buying one and you're over the age of 18, hit me up in the email contact below. And if you're in the area, we can work it out. I don't know about shipping those. May or may not be worth it, but we'll talk about it if you're interested. Alright guys, so here we are, the Grand Collection. Kind of an overview of everything that I have here. You're probably noticing one thing missing, and that's my shotgun that I just did a review on, which was the Double Eagle M3 shotgun tri-burst. It's not here because unfortunately it broke. I dropped it on Sunday and it started shooting 1 BB only. I guess when I dropped it, the piston rack kind of came misaligned, so it was only shooting 1 BB. I took it apart to see what was going on, and the inside was totally messed up from it being misaligned, and I kept pumping it and it tore into the pistons for the other 2 barrels. So unfortunately I did have to trash that one. I took it apart, I didn't put it back together, and I just threw it away actually. Let me go get it real quick. So here she is, or what's left of her anyways. I took it apart, and if you can see in there, the plastic pistons are not lining up with the barrels. The 2 bottom ones anyways. Now that it's apart, all of them don't, but in pumping it, it chewed into the piston heads, the tappet heads, and it just $40, you know. I got my money's worth. I used it way more than $40 worth, so, and it was my fault. I dropped it and it landed really bad. It popped out a little piece of the plastic here. I went to hit it like that to pop it back in place, and I'm not sure if that's what broke it or if it broke when it fell. But after that, I tried to use it, and the BBs were just falling out of the barrels, except for the top one. So it essentially got converted to a single shot shotgun. So yeah, served me well, but time to let go. What can you do, man? So I got a new shotgun on the way. It's not the exact same one. I have the Fab Arms short pistol grip version with it actually has a rail on the top, so I'll be able to attach my cameras to it, which will be cool. And I plan to use that as a primary in some games to see if I can get some cool footage. I'm gonna try to get some cool footage of this one. If I do manage to do that, expect a video on that soon. And yeah, I guess that's it, guys. I got a couple new things coming in the mail, so when those come in, I know people like unboxing, so I guess I'll do unboxings for them, do kind of a first impressions type deal. But besides that, this is all I got going on right now. Honestly, my collection is where I want it to be. I don't need any more guns. Not that I don't want any more guns, but we'll see. We'll see who comes out there. If I come across any good deals or anything, I might pick some stuff up. But for the most part, I'm happy with what I have right now. I have a good set of guns, and I really don't need any more. Might be doing the mystery boxes still, but we'll see. Future will tell. So thanks, guys, for sticking around. I hope you enjoyed my video on my collection, and let me know what you got in your collection. Make a video. Put it on YouTube. Let's check it out. I love this stuff. I'm glad you guys do too. So thanks for tuning in, and we will catch you next time. Peace. Call your hits. You know what to do.